Hi, it's Debs from Soul Harmony Yoga. On our blog today, I'm going to be talking about choosing nutrition to reduce anxiety. And there's so many foods that are marketed to be nutritional when in fact, when you read the label, you can see that there's an enormous amount of sugar in it. Now, at this stage, I don't want to appear that I'm getting all preachy and it's about a just don't eat sugar blog, because it's not. And I actually find that approach just doesn't work. It doesn't work for me and it doesn't work for my students. So one of my teachers, Annie Jones from the Drew Yoga Centre, always says that it's better to put in than to take out. And I find that this is so true. If I'm told that I need to stop something, I find it much more difficult than to add something into my diet that's going to be beneficial for me. So adding calming foods like flax seeds into my smoothie is so easy. And I'm much more likely to ensure that I do that rather than having someone tell me to stop something. It's definitely a mindset thing, and one that I think is really important in how we make our choices around foods that we're doing. So according to Clara Mudge, she's a functional nutritional medicine nutritionalist. She says that the nutrition strategy known as blood sugar balance is a really straightforward technique, and it just involves eating fats and proteins at every meal and avoiding sugar and stimulants as much as possible. So there's quite a lot of research now about anxiety being caused by fast carbohydrates, particularly sugar. So obviously things like carbonated soft drinks are usually the worst offenders. And what happens is you consume the sugar, it ends up in your blood sugar rises really rapidly, and then your body has to counteract this by producing more insulin to maintain a stable sugar level. Because it has to produce so much insulin, your blood sugar level plummets, and then you feel tired and groggy and that kind of thing. So if we're looking at foods, the higher the glycemic index is, the quicker the food is converted into sugar, which, if it's not burned up immediately by exercise, is then stored in your body as fat. So according to a Harvard Health School, a diet rich in whole grains, vegetables and fruits is a healthier option than eating a lot of simple carbohydrates, which are found in processed foods. So when you eat is also important as well. So it's important not to skip meals, because that might cause your blood sugar levels to drop again, and it may cause you to feel jittery, or if you're anything like me, really grumpy. So I can definitely feel when my blood sugar has dropped and I actually can't think and I need to eat something before I can sort of carry on with my day. So that's always a good warning sign for me. So some of the research that they looked at Harvard University has shown that about 95% of our serotonin receptors, so that's the neurotransmitters between our brain and our nervous system, are found in the lining of the gut, which means that the healthier that our gut is and the healthier our gut is to process food, then we're a lot less likely to suffer from anxiety and depression. So I've put together a list of 7 foods or food groups that are more likely to reduce anxiety. So number 1 is smoothies. I love smoothies, and it's such an easy way to have lots of protein in the morning. So adding things like sunflower seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds into the blend, using almond milk or coconut milk, and using, bananas, mangoes, berries. So when you put your seeds in, you're not only getting your protein, but also getting omega-3 from things like flax seeds and chia seeds, which are really good to help reduce anxiety. Number 2 is eating foods that are high in magnesium, such as spinach, Swiss chard, legumes, whole grains, nuts and seeds, and that's been shown to reduce anxiety as well. So we've talked about high glycemic foods. So what you want to go for is the more low GI foods that give the body a steady stream of sugar and energy without creating that surplus sugar spike. and the majority of which will be converted into fat. So again, we come to our whole grain foods like brown rice, millet, rye, oats. So your porridge is fantastic to calm your mind. Whole wheat, corn, quinoa, pasta, sweet potatoes, pulses, they all have a slower burn-up rate of carbohydrates and can therefore be calmer as it slows your metabolism down, so your metabolism isn't going at 100 miles an hour. So number 4 is eggs. So these are a really convenient source of complete protein, and they also contain lecithin and choline, which is it's needed for your nervous system to function properly. So choline, it's a nutrient that forms a key part of the abundant neurotransmitter, and it's used all the time for motor and memory functions in the nervous system. So number 5 is, which always makes me smile, there's plenty of studies out there for eating really high quality chocolate to boost your mood. And as with everything, it has to be very high quality chocolate, and of course just a little. But you'll probably notice that the higher the quality, the less that you need, and just having a little bit after a meal can actually help with your mood. So number 6 is asparagus, which is known to be a really healthy vegetable, and based on research by the Chinese government, they actually approved the use of an asparagus extract as a natural functional food and beverage ingredient due to anti-anxiety properties. Finally, number 7 is foods that are rich in vitamin B. So we know that having a vitamin B supplement can help with anxiety and manage stress. So foods like avocados and almonds have also been found to reduce anxiety. So one final thing that I'll mention is how you can actually improve your digestion of food so that your body's happier with its nutritional intake, it feels less stressed with processing your foods. So I'll invite you to consider how you're feeling when you're preparing food. I don't know if you've seen the film Like Water for Chocolate. Check it out if you haven't. Things like setting a positive intention before you start cooking. Lighting a candle and coming into balance before you start cooking, or perhaps putting on some music that makes you feel really good and uplifts you whilst you're cooking. Thinking about the atmosphere that you create when you actually come to eat your food as well, and the space that you eat your food in. And saying grace or thanking the earth for the food before you eat it. And research has shown that the vibration of the food changes and the body begins to prepare the enzymes that it needs to eat the food when you do this. Just be mindful of how much you're chewing and making sure that you're chewing your food for quite a long time before you digest it. And just being gentle on yourself as well, so not beating yourself up if you do eat some foods that aren't that good. So generally the rule is 80% healthy, 20% not so healthy, and your body will be able to process those foods. So of course it's different for everybody, and if you do have any nutritional issues or food issues, then it's always best to check with your practitioner. So enjoy, be mindful, and just notice what happens for you, because it'll be different for everybody. And of course, yoga is a really good way to go alongside thinking about your nutrition and what you're eating as a way to reduce anxiety as well. So if you've enjoyed reading this blog, why not have a look at our yoga classes that can support your inner balance, your well-being, and boost your energy even further. So you can sign up for our 7-day free trial via the homepage on our website, soulharmonyyoga.org, and try a couple of classes and see how it feels. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.